Welcome to Golden Bachelor. If you love celebrity news and real entertainment updates, you're in the right place. Today, we dive into a moment the cameras almost kept hidden. A scene that didn't make the final cut, but absolutely should have. A moment from Cindy and Mel's unforgettable hometown date that blended romance, humor, tenderness, and the kind of sweet awkwardness only two people falling deeply for each other can create. The sun had just begun to soften into a warm glow over Cindy's hometown, casting long golden streaks across the quiet streets. Cindy stood at the edge of the small local park, smoothing down her hair with a kind of nervous energy that comes when someone you truly care about is minutes away. She wasn't trying to impress him. She just wanted him to see her world exactly as it was, simple, comforting, and entirely hers. Mel walked toward her with that familiar, gently self-deprecating grin. The one that said he was excited, amused, and a little terrified all at once. The moment he reached her, he leaned in for a soft hug. The kind that lingered half a second longer than a normal greeting. The kind that gave away everything he was trying not to say aloud just yet. Cindy took his hand and pulled him into the park. "This," she said, gesturing around proudly, "is where I grew up. I probably tripped over every tree root here at some point." Mel laughed. "And here I thought you were trying to convince me you were graceful." "Oh, I'm graceful," she said, tilting her chin playfully. "Just not consistently." They walked past the swing set, the paint slightly chipped, the chains squeaking in the breeze. It looked ordinary, but to Cindy it meant childhood summers, scraped knees, her first crush, and now, unexpectedly, a date that mattered more than she was ready to admit. Mel paused, eyeing the swings. "You want to sit?" She shook her head. "Absolutely not. I'm wearing boots. You're trying to embarrass me." He shrugged. "I would never embarrass you." Deliberately. With a dramatic sigh, she sat down. The swing wobbled. The chain squeaked loudly. Mel burst out laughing, and Cindy glared at him through a smile she couldn't suppress. When he finally took the swing next to hers, his much taller frame made it dip dangerously low, giving the two of them immediate matching laughter. For a moment, they just swung gently, slowly, feet brushing the ground, their shoulders nearly touching. It wasn't a grand date or a dramatic setup. It was just two people sitting side by side, rediscovering youth together. Then Cindy cleared her throat. Okay, enough nostalgia. I actually planned something." Mel raised an eyebrow. "Planned? You?" She smacked his arm lightly. "Don't act so surprised." She pulled him toward a hidden corner in the park, where a blanket was spread under an old oak tree. A small basket waited beside it. Inside, a collection of Cindy's favorite snacks. Not fancy ones, not showy ones, just the things that made her feel at home. Mel dropped down onto the blanket, crossing his legs and looking more comfortable than Cindy had seen him all season. "Did you make all this?" She said, "Maybe," trying to hide the way she hoped he'd notice the tiny details, the way she picked snacks based on things he'd mentioned offhand, the way she placed everything just right. He scanned the basket, then looked at her with a softness she rarely saw from him. "You always surprise me," he said gently. Cindy froze. A simple comment, but it hit her harder than she expected. She was used to being the one people relied on, the one who had her life neatly organized. But being surprising, being someone worth discovering, that was new. They started eating, teasing each other over who took the last crackers, joking about childhood stories, laughing over the odd, small habits they were starting to learn about each other. Mel talked about the first time he tried cooking and nearly set off 6 smoke alarms. Cindy shared the time she tried to impress a crush by learning how to skateboard and fractured her elbow instead. The more they talked, the more the nerves dissolved. Something unspoken settled between them. A gentle, blooming familiarity, like two puzzle pieces quietly finding their place. Then came the moment that would have gone viral if the footage had aired. A squirrel, bold, shameless, and apparently starving, sprinted across the blanket, snatched a cracker right out of Mel's hand, and darted off with the kind of determination usually reserved for Olympic athletes. Mel flinched so dramatically that Cindy nearly spilled her drink laughing. "It liked you," she teased. "Oh yeah, I could tell from the robbery." Cindy tossed another cracker toward the squirrel, who paused as if considering a second heist. Mel guarded his food like his life depended on it. But then Cindy did something unexpected. She rested her head lightly against Mel's shoulder, not asking permission, not testing waters, just settling into the moment as naturally as breathing. Mel didn't move, didn't tense. He simply placed his hand on top of hers, steady and sure. And in that quiet connection, something shifted, something real, something neither wanted to run from. After a long silence, Cindy spoke softly. "There's something I want to show you." She led him down a small trail to a spot overlooking her neighborhood, rooftops, winding streets, and rows of trees that lined the sidewalks like guardians of her childhood. The sun had dipped low now, painting the sky in warm amber tones. "This," she said, "is where I used to come when I needed to think." Mel looked around, taking it all in. "It's beautiful." She said, "It's peaceful." He nodded. They stood together quietly, the breeze brushing past them, lifting Cindy's hair just enough that it brushed his cheek. Mel noticed, gently tucking it behind her ear. His fingers lingered just slightly longer than necessary. Cindy let out a breath, one she didn't know she had been holding. "This date, it means a lot," she said. "I wanted you to see my world, and I guess I wanted to see how you fit into it." Mel's smile was soft. "I wouldn't be here if I didn't want to." "But," she said hesitantly, "this is a lot, for both of us." He shook his head. "It doesn't scare me. You don't scare me." Cindy tried to make a joke. "Not even after the squirrel incident?" He chuckled, shaking his head. "That was traumatic, I'll admit. But you? No." Then he took her hands gently, warm, steady, intentional. "I like who I am around you," he said. "You make things easy, even when they shouldn't be." Cindy felt her heart flip, not the messy, dramatic kind of flip, but a gentle one, the kind that comes when something true finally lands. Mel glanced down, almost bashful. "I like your hometown, even the squirrel." Cindy laughed. "I'll make sure he gets an invitation to our next date." They walked back to the blanket, collecting the picnic items, talking lightly about nothing and everything. The moon began to rise, giving the night a silver glow. Cindy caught Mel watching her, not in a dramatic, angsty way, but with admiration, comfort, and a quiet fondness he was no longer trying to hide. Before they wrapped up their date, Cindy surprised him again. She reached into the basket and pulled out a small, folded piece of paper. Mel raised an eyebrow. "What's that?" he asked. "Something I wrote a long time ago," she said, suddenly shy. "I used to come here and write little notes about how I wanted my life to feel someday. Not goals, just feelings." Mel unfolded the paper gently. The handwriting was smaller than he expected, delicate, almost nervous. It read, "I want someone I can laugh with, sit quietly with, feel safe with, and grow old with. Someone who treats the ordinary parts of life like they matter." Mel looked up, eyes soft. "That," he said, "sounds like something we could be." Cindy swallowed hard, unsure what to say, but she didn't need to. The silence between them was enough. Warm, easy, promising. They leaned in, slowly, cautiously, drawn by something neither could deny anymore. And although the cameras captured parts of that moment, the soft words, the breathless laughter, the unspoken promises, those stayed just between them. When the night finally settled around them, Mel squeezed her hand one last time. "Thank you," he said quietly, "for showing me your world, and for letting me be part of it." Cindy smiled, leaning against him once more. "I'm glad you're here." The date ended not with fanfare, not with fireworks, but with two people leaving the park side by side, hopeful, connected, and entirely unaware that this unseen moment would become a fan favorite if it ever aired. And now it finally has a voice. If you enjoyed this exclusive, heartfelt, deleted moment, make sure you stay tuned for more unseen stories, deeper dives, and the sweet, unexpected magic behind the scenes. Because in the world of love, especially this kind, the best moments are often the ones the cameras almost miss. Thanks for watching Golden Bachelor. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for the next big story.